El Maestro Speaks.
El Maestro Speaks
El Maestro Speaks.
Podcast.
All right. So, hello sir.
Hello sa inyo lahat.
Ayan. So for those who are listening, baka hindi nyo makikita yung video ang aking guest today. This will be out on December 28th.
Yay!
Weekly.
Mhm.
Is Sir Michael Dean Cuanzo of La Trinidad and of What World. Siguro yun ang first na question ko, sir.
Mm.
What is What World and what are the things that you do there?
Okay. What World started, I started What World way back in 2007 when I was working in Metro Manila. Nung time kasi na yan, parang ang uso kasi noon is vlogging.
Vlogging, yes.
Yeah, vlogging. It's written.
Yes. Article.
Oo. So, vlogging, description, everything. Since nandun ako sa Metro Manila nung time na yon, gusto kong makilala through a channel na associated sa Cordillera. Sabi ko, ano ba yung pinakasikat na word ng Cordillera? Sabi ko, uy, yun na lang, what. So, alam naman natin, di ba, pag sinabing what, it's sharing of blessings,
Yes.
meat, usually, ganun. Pero sabi ko, I will share information to the world. Kaya lumabas yung, yun na lang, what, world.
So What World was a blog back then?
Before, 2007 until 2014.
14, yeah.
Until nawala sa akin yung channel.
What happened to
Negligence.
Negligence. But is that a paid blogging site? Or?
More on a feature site. Nung time kasi namin, people pay us to do vlogs. Nung time na yun, malakas noon dati before pumasok ang vlogging tsaka influencing, talagang written vlogs was the way before. Eventually, nagpalit-palit na kasi yan, naging visual na and everything. But during our time, if you would go to a restaurant,
Yeah.
and then, kunyari, if you feature mo,
And then you will write a review.
we were very descriptive. Like, it was a very green leafy vegetable, so crunchy. So, since written siya, kailangan i-describe mo dun sa reader kung ano yung experience mo para pag it's like trying to entice them also to get the same feel and experience. Pag pumunta rin sila doon.
Yeah.
Yan, ganun yan ang time namin dati.
Is it a good hustle, vlogging back then?
I think
You were
so.
in Manila, no? That
Yeah.
time.
I was in Manila in 2005 to late 2009. I was working with a corporation for VP Marketing Activity Online. So talagang strength ko din. That was really my strength already.
So you're one of the pioneers of using online.
Vlogs.
Yeah. Using
Yes.
the internet.
In our area in Baguio and La Trinidad.
Yeah.
Sabihin na lang natin sa Cordy. Yes, I was one of the first na nag-explore sa venture na ito, sa area na ito.
Yeah, and just to put things in perspective here, you were doing that back in 2007. 2007, I was still learning how to use the Microsoft Word. Yeah. Yeah.
I started doing online actually 1998, 99 during the startup days of internet in the Philippines. Nung time na yun, parang 60, 70 pesos per hour pa noon eh.
Seriously?
During the late 90s. So talagang
Dito sa Trinidad or
Baguio, Trinidad.
Baguio and Trinidad,
Oo.
60 pesos per hour. And the speed of the internet was
Ay nako. Hintayan blues yan.
ito yung dial-up, yung
Dial-up siya.
pag may gumamit ng telepono.
Hindi naman. Pero nung time kasi na yan, palakas na yung internet shops. Internet shops yung pinakamagandang business nung late
During
90s.
those time,
Oo.
98.
And then, ang dami talagang mga games and everything. Kami yung mga Counter-Strike, yung mga ganun.
Nabutan namin yung Counter-Strike, yeah, and that was 2002 na.
Yung mga earlier versions earlier versions
Doom.
ng Tekken, Doom. Ang paborito namin nung 90s actually yung game na Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo.
Diablo 1.
Yeah.
Mga ganun.
So,
Pero actually, yun yung time na nag-start ang internet sa Philippines. Pero yun din yung time na sinasabi ko na, nako, mukhang magandang pag-aralan ito. Mukhang in the future magagamit ko. So eventually talagang nagamit ko naman siya.
was that taught to you, or was it parang ano mo lang na hint mo lang na parang pwedeng pagkakitaan ito?
It all started with the early days of Google search. So nung 90s, parang if you want to search something, i-google mo.
Yeah.
So Yahoo pa actually nun.
Yahoo, yes.
Ang sikat nun eh. So sabi ko, pag magbebenta pala ako ng patatas dito, yun thought lang, pag magbebenta pala akong patatas dito sa Yahoo, i-search nila yung Yahoo. Aba, may bibili. Ganun yung thought nung time na yun. So, I just entertained na kailangan kong tignan yung possibilities nito. So, nung time na yun, free ang through GeoCities. Yung ko lang kung alam mo yung GeoCities.
Yeah, I think.
GeoCities is the free website offered by Google. Dati, bago pumasok ang Blogspot or Blogger.
Yeah.
So, inaral ko na yan. So, may mga mini website ako noon before kami nag-shift sa Blogspot or blogger.com ng Google. Then eventually, sabi ko, pwede na akong gumawa ng website kasi napag-aralan ko na yung WordPress.
Oh, yeah.
So, ganun yung naging takbo niya.
Oh, so matagal na pala ang WordPress.
Oo, matagal na.
So, using WordPress now.
Yun lang. And then eventually, nakabisado ko paano magbenta online. Iba kasi yung method ng selling before.
Oh yeah, how do you do that? What if a person like say for example, you're here, based here in Baguio, and may bibili na taga La Union? Paano ang arrangement?
Ang haba ng lakaran dati. Kasi wala pang visual marketing dati, wala pang social network. So everything talaga is by trust and everything is by email. You have to take pictures and then ang kagandahan nun may Friendster. So
yeah, Friendster.
Ginagamit namin yung Friendster na parang Facebook ngayon, ganun.
Yeah, before Facebook merong Friendster.
Pero ang tagal talaga ng proseso bago ka talaga maka.
So compared now in the online marketing now na in 3 days or 5 days darating yan. Noon, diba?
Noon, well, may Victory Liner naman na noon. May Philippine Rabbit, yung mga ganun. But,
and wala pang GCash.
Wala talaga. Yeah. Bank to bank.
Bank to bank.
Oh, bank to bank ang transactions dati. And everything before was hard. It was hard, it was long, it was tedious. Iba yung klase ng online marketing dati as compared ngayon. Ngayon, sobrang
bilis.
Parang, easy.
So back then, parang mas easy ang bumili ka sa mall. Yeah. But why did you continue yung ganun na online marketing na hindi ka na discourage?
Ang mode of selling kasi dati is hindi siya yung straight na online marketing. It was actually through promotions and information coming from blogs. So, nung time na yon, I was reading blogs and everything, and then we created blogs also to sell, and then yun yung through email marketing kasi yung uso nun. Way back talaga email marketing, you have to collect a lot of emails and then send the informations to them. Kaya nga lumabas yung spam email dahil doon. And then, what I did was, as much as possible, everywhere I go, nagko-collect ako ng email ng mga kaklase, kakilala, and everything. Kasi yun talaga yung thing.
Kayo pala yung isang nag-i-spam.
Dati yun. Pero before kasi, if you create an article, people will be convinced easier. Article lang yun,
Yeah.
Parang, ay, okay, sinulat. Hindi sinulat na eh. Hindi na yan scam or hindi na yan spam kasi may nagsulat na. Okay, kilala ko pa yung nagsulat. Taga-Baguio, mga ganun-ganun. And then eventually, you will redirect them to an office or kung hindi man to a certain page kung saan pwede na silang bumili using credit card. Yun naman ang uso ng kapanahonan ng credit card.
Let's dial back to how to your personal life, like say where did you study from elementary? Where were you born first?
I was born in Baguio City.
Baguio City.
Parents ko, my mom is half taga Ugao, taga Kiangan, Ifugao, and Bontoc Mountain Province, particularly Talubin. But we migrated to Barlig, so that's why pag tinatanong kami, Enati, Iliuja Mountain Province, we say Barlig.
Barlig.
Pero actually, ang roots is from Bontoc.
Oh.
My dad is from Kibungan and Mestizo Chinese. Half.
Oh, yeah.
So, pag titingnan ng
dami mong roots.
ang daming
Spread,
roots. Oo.
Yeah.
I finished elementary sa St. Louis University,
Mm.
SLULES, 1990. I finished high school
Mm.
sa University of Baguio. Although I'm boys high ako hanggang third year.
Third year.
For whatever reason, tanggal ako. And then pumunta ako ng fourth year ako sa
Masyado
UP.
kang mabait.
Oo, malamang, malamang.
Oo.
And then college was a lot of history for me. Solid.
Mm.
It took me 6 years to finish a
Oo.
4-year course.
Pero bago tayo pumunta sa college, who are the influential teachers na parang naaalala mo from elementary and high school na parang nag-influence sa'yo in terms of what you're doing right now?
Pag sa elementary, parang wala gaano kasi papalit-palit yung teachers ko nun. But definitely sa high school would be si Ma'am Mansano.
Mm.
Hi ma'am, hi Ma'am Mansano. Si Ma'am Mansano, maliit na teacher yan. Kasi
Ah.
mga, wala pang 5.
Mhm.
Pero, yung dating niya, para siyang 6-footer.
Mm.
Ganun. Kaya na lapigusan na maamin si Kamijay Boysay. And then,
Boys.
oh, I still remember yung segue lang.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Sure.
Third year kami noon. And then yung mga damit ng mga teachers, yung mga dito na palda na hanggang dito sa mini.
Yeah, back then when female teacher should wear
Yung ganyan, oo. Tapos, pag alam na namin si Ma'am Mansano yung behave kami lahat. Ayan. Pagpasok dun sa classroom, tok, 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 with the noisy heels ngayon, tok, tok, kapan di platform, di sango ko, tao iso na. Tahimik kaming ganyan. Now, this one classmate of ours, hi, Chris Mar, among dito yung istorya.
Shout out to Chris Mar.
Pagpunta ni Ma'am Mansano sa harap, yung table, di ba yung teacher's table sa harap, may parang opening sa baba.
Yeah.
This friend of ours, he was trying to look,
Take a pic.
take a pic. Sabi ni Mrs. Mansano, "Are you peeping, Chris Mar?" Sabi niya, tahimik kami lahat sa classroom. Tumayo si Chris Mar, sabi niya, "Oh, ma'am, I'm Chris Mar, Pontanilla." Tawa kami ng tawa lahat. Sabi ko, ibang klase.
Siguro si Chris Mar, lawyer na ngayon.
I don't know, but I've not seen him for a long time.
Yeah.
Pero grabe yung story niya, talagang nakakatawa. But back then, talagang iba si ma'am. Iba. Kumbaga, terror na maliit, pero magaling.
Magaling. Yeah. Parang yun yung talagang yung parang literal na example ng isang traditional, sinasabi nating traditional, I mean this in a good way. Yung traditional na teacher na talagang mayroon kang matututunan in terms of yung lesson na dapat mong matutunan at yung discipline na dapat mong taglayan.
Ano talaga how she handled pure boys na students is something Yung fear, hindi naman siguro yung fear na fear, pero yung you will respect her because she demanded it.
Yeah.
Teacher dengag kayo kanya. Ganun.
Which is sometimes I don't know in the world, because I belong to that world now. It's totally the opposite. Just relating it to your experience and relating it to my experience as a child back then. Being a teacher now is totally different. And scary and different at the same time. So
I've heard.
it's difficult to parang navigate the ways of like how you were going to mold the child in a way that they should be molded, and how you will discipline them. Kung merong one mistake is merong mahuhulog na bato sa ulo mo. That is That's the danger of
Oo.
becoming a teacher now.
Oo, medyo talaga may ano.
Mm.
Well, isa sa mga boys naman na talagang paborito namin sa buong boys high is si Sir De La Cruz.
Oh,
Siya yung PE teacher.
PE teacher. Yeah.
Kumbaga, kinakatakutan ng lahat ng estudyante yun, si Sir De La Cruz.
Mhm.
Ilang beses na rin tumakbo dyan sa ano,
Sa Baguio.
Sa Baguio.
Oh.
Pero talagang hindi siya pinapalad. But the thing is, ano kasi, pag naghahanap ka ng male authority doon sa school, siya makikita mo kasi brusko, lakay, tapos walang pakialam sa mundo.
Is your time yung time na I don't know kung anong time yun, pero may time daw na allowed na manigarilyo yung teachers
Yeah.
in the premises.
Way back, pwede. And I think until 2002, teachers were allowed to
They can smoke and kasi nakikita ko pa yun sa jeep dati noong pumupunta kami dito 1994, pwede pang manigarilyo sa loob ng jeep yung mga ganon. Hindi, naalala ko lang because I saw an article there na parang there's a lawyer who was sharing his experiences in elementary. Yung teacher daw nila naninigarilyo habang natuturo. In this generation, that is odd.
Hindi na talaga. Oo. Pero I think it was in the early 2000 na na-implement yung law.
Even the commercial on TVs about cigarette is wala na.
Oo, wala na.
During those times.
Laki ng kasalanan ko dyan sa mga taga-SLU dyan dahil dyan. I wrote an article way back 2002, I think.
Yeah.
Or 2003 about smoking inside the campus.
So you
sa
published that
SLU.
in your blog or in
No,
a
no.
newspaper?
It's university-wide paper ng SLU. And I was criticized. I was bashed in a way na yung hindi yung bashed sa social media, yung bash talaga na nasa labas ka. Kistisabam din, naging lalaing ka. Ganun, talagang ibang level. Because after I wrote that article about smoking inside the campus, university premises, 1 month after that, the university banned smoking inside St. Louis University.
Maraming tinamaan.
Oo, sabi ko. Boom. And that was in, I think, 2002 and 2003. Iba-iba talaga yung nung time na yun kasi siyempre malakas yung influence ng written noon. People read.
Yes, people
Students
read. Actually, yeah, students read.
So yun talagang ano. But eventually, it was a good one for the school.
Yeah. So now, connecting that to your college life, what happened? Why 6 years? Why it took you 6 years to finish a 4-year course?
Galing ako sa first na in-enroll ko is AB Psych. And then I shifted.
Psychology.
I shifted to Masscom. And then to AB Economics. And then to AB Pol Sci. I graduated sa political science. But nung time kasi ng college, I was a student leader.
Can you walk me through the choices that you had? What made you decide to take this and that and then eventually lead to that one?
Hindi ko ngayon rin naintindihan kasi honest to goodness, when I entered college, hindi ko alam kung ano yung course na kukunin ko talaga. And then nung medyo tumanda na ako, sa ako sinasabi sa akin, dapat pala nag-comsci ako. Kasi all my batchmates who took comsci nung time na yon are all doing good right now in very big corporations. But nung
comsci is computer science. Right?
Oo. Pagpasok ko kasi ng college, parang ano bang kukunin ko? Sige, parang searching muna. Kaya ako napasok lahat ng AB courses dyan sa Waldo Perfecto building.
AB Psych.
Yung mga basic courses ay basic subjects lang muna. First year and then second sem, third sem. Kumbaga yung 4 semesters.
Basic yung...
Parang wala akong ginawa kundi, sige, ito na lang kunin ko next sem, ganun. Eventually, I decided to take political science nung mga parang magpapasok na ka sa third year. Na ito na lang kukunin ko.
Why political science?
Ano yan? May maraming story behind kung bakit ako nag-stick sa political science because of my experience with the campaign of the first campaign of Senator Gringo Honasan.
How were you taken to that, or how were you connected to
Yeah.
that one?
Ramboy si Daddy. My dad was a civilian component of
Of
the
RAM.
RAM organization. Kasi may isa sa dun sa mga nakasulat-sulat sa t-shirt na yun na Air Dreams or Never Die, blah, blah, blah.
Just for a backgrounder, ano yung RAM and yeah.
RAM is yung Revolutionary Armed Forces Movement. Yun yung grupo nila Gringo, nila Bibit, nila Lim na nag-revolt against the Aquino government dati.
Yeah.
Yun. And then, eventually, they formed this group na for reformation and everything. And then, they got civilian partners. Isa si dad ko for Benguet. And during the first time na tumakbo siya noong 95, my dad was the campaign manager for our area, La Trinidad,
Basically for
Benguet.
like
Basta ito na.
Benguet, yeah.
So, since I was like 16 nung time na yun, sumasama ako. Going around. And then nakita ko na, okay. So parang ang sarap para maging politiko. Parang ganun.
How so? Bakit?
Yung perspective
Yeah. During your perspective during that time.
Yung bata ka kasi, pag nakita mo yung mga politiko, parang ang tataas nilang tao na parang bawal dumapo ang dumi sa kanila. Ganun yung perception mo. Nung 90s po yan, just to clarify, 90s.
When he was 16.
So pag dumarating yung mga politiko, yung mga kasama nila or guest nila, grabe asikaso ni dad. Kasi si daddy doon may rugged trail eatery dito sa La Trinidad. Yung grabe yung paasikaso niya, pakape, pakain, lahat yan, libre.
Wow.
Ganun. So sabi ko, mukhang masarap pag-aralan ang politics.
So that pushed you to take AB or political science.
In a way, parang isang factor.
Isang factor.
Ayan. And then, dire-diretso na yan. Something happened kasi doon nung time namin sa SLU. That's why I finished actually sa then Baguio Colleges Foundation nung hindi pa siya naging UC.
UC, yeah.
Oo. Siyempre, part kami ng student government and student publication. EIC ako ng isang university-wide publication under Student Council. So may pinublish kami na article. Ang sumulat is si Attorney Mariano Buyagawan, who is the 9th-time mayor of Lamut.
9th-time mayor of Lamut, Ifugao.
Oo. So yung article na pinublish niya nung time na yon was about a lawyer who is lying. And then the VP for admin thought that siya yung pinapatamaan ni Marimar Mariano. So nag-file siya ng libel. Siyempre, nag-file ng libel, me as the EIC, Mariano as the president, lahat kami na staff, lahat kami. And then, it was the best time of SLU actually because the court, kailangan namin magpiyansa ng 10,000 pesos. And that was the time that the whole university-wide people, students, sumama sila sa rally.
In support of you.
In support of us.
Yeah.
Particularly ni Mariano kasi siya yung pinapatamaan. We needed money for piyansa.
Yeah.
So, all of the students, they barricaded the buong university. And then, nagkaroon ng piso para kay Mariano. And then, kumbaga yung students, drivers, people were chipping in para mabuo namin yung pang-piyansa. It was the heyday of parang student leadership nung time na yan.
Yeah.
And then, we were able to collect the amount. And then, syempre, yung press, andun lahat yung press. Iba yung
were covered by
iba yung level
also,
ng press nun eh.
Yeah.
Tapos, paglabas dun sa may, Baguio City Jail, nakaganon-ganon pa yung mga kamay ng mga kasama with all the press looking there. All the newspapers and TVs were covering it. And then, it was actually a good time for being a student leader kasi you were being heard and then your grievances mo, may masasabi mo, ganon. All media were listening. Tapos yung mga media people talagang sinusundan ka, ganon. But the thing is, Nung 97 na yun, that happened in 1997. Ang nakakatuwa, segue,
Mm.
lahat ng mga kasama, nung time na yon na student leaders na ang sabi nung university, mga ano to, mga komunista, mga NPA, mga...
That is the easiest accusation
Oo,
that you can throw.
rinetag talaga kami,
Yeah.
Pero ito sasabihin ko, Mariano, who was the main person na tinatamaan nun, is a lawyer,
Lawyer.
9-time mayor of
9-time mayor.
Lamut.
Oo.
I think babalik ngayon siya as mayor ulit kasi nung last natalo siya nung tumakbong congressman.
Mm.
He's a practicing lawyer. Yung isa na nademanda si Aurelio Cabato is a manager of a bank.
Oh.
Si Gelasio Bongat. Wow, grabe Jel. Si Gelasio Bongat is also a lawyer and now regional director ng NBI.
Oh.
Oo. NBI Cagayan, nandun siya sa NBI Mimaropa.
So those people who were accused, continue.
Yeah. Si Perry Mendoza is now working sa US under a parang non-profit organization pero more on caring of the environment. The president way back, si Placido China, is also now a practicing lawyer in Banawe. And of course, ako, dito lang po ako nagninegosyo. Ganun. The thing is, every one of those involved doon are doing their own things right now. Maganda yung status na kinalagyan naming lahat. And wala sa amin na mundok o may hawak ng baril. Wala, we were only using our voices, our pen.
Yeah, the funny thing is you're actually right now a contributing part of the system.
Actually.
Who used to tag you?
Isa yun, isa yun. Oh. Nakakatawa kasi if you're leaning a little bit on the left, you will see things differently from regular people. Yun.
But isn't that the essence of democracy? Right?
Yeah.
It's the main essence that people should be allowed to like contradict an idea, have a discussion about it, and see kung ano yung resulta ng discussion.
Tama. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Kasi kung lahat tayo, iisa ang pinupuntahan, let's just put it on this context. Yin and yang, positive and negative.
Right.
Kung may idea, may pinopose na idea ang isang tao, and then all of us will say, okay, maganda yan, good, okay, go ako dyan and everything, without considering yung other side.
Yeah.
Chances are, pag umabante kayo, doon nyo lang makikita yung problema or something na, ay nako, mas masakit ang ulo nun. So, dapat, we always look at the other side also, yung mga what ifs.
Yeah.
Balansehin natin. So, ayan, I think, yun lang siguro yung kagandahan pag naging student leader ka. You see things na hindi nakikita ng mga regular students.
Back in your college, you said that you are EIC, sabi editor-in-chief, right? So, is it in your hilig mo talaga ang pagsusulat back then? Or parang...
sabihin na lang natin hindi ako magaling magsulat pero marunong.
Yeah.
Ayan. And at least alam ko yung basic na there and there. Yung mga,
yun ang wala ngayon.
yung mga D tsaka ED. Actually, umiinit ng ulo ko ngayon pag nababasa ko yung maling paggamit ng present tense at past tense, yung E tsaka ED.
Exactly.
Bakit kaya ngayon parang lahat papunta sa ED?
Marami.
Parang past lahat. Nangyayari ngayon pero past.
Yan. Isang comment ko nga sa parang sinasabi ko kay I had a podcast once with Sir Artibaldo.
Manong Art.
And then what's happening? Kasi noon I like reading news before, articles and everything. And talagang konti lang ang makikita mong grammatical errors. Right now, even Inquirer itself is committing a lot of those grammatical errors.
Ewan ko sa generation. Sorry pero talagang kakaiba. Oo, iba talaga.
Side of the topic is yun ang panahon ngayon. Yeah, yun ang panahon ngayon.
Visual kasi ngayon more on nakikita, hindi na nagbabasa.
Right. And then at least basta naintindihan mo yung istorya, padaanin mo na lang. Parang ganoon na lang ang nangyayari. Pero parang sa side naming mga teacher, parang medyo medyo mahirap. And then parang it's a reflection of our job din.
Oo
Parang,
naman.
Anong nangyari sa tinuruan mo? Parang gano'n po minsan.
Nung time nyo na nag-aaral ganito, tapos nung kayo na nagtuturo, parang, ha?
Yeah. And then parang, Nay, I want to insuro ni teacher. Parang gano'n ngayon yung labas. And, so, how long ano yung pangalan ng newspaper again?
Nung time na yun, ang newspaper namin was called Hotline.
Hotline. And then, how long na naging ikaw yung editor-in-chief?
1 year lang yan
1
actually.
year.
Kasi after nung 1 year, after nung time na lumabas yun, the following year, hindi na kami binigyan ng budget. And then, ang kinonsentrata na lang is white and blue, which is yung current na university-wide paper ng...
So you had a lot of university paper back then?
Dati kasi, pwede kang as a student government, pwede kang mag-publish ng sarili mong newspaper, aside from yung white and blue.
So kasi ang alam namin dun sa BSU is yung Mountain Collegian. And then, iba naman na yung Blue Courier ng CTE, yung mga ganun pala.
Dati may budget kung papayagan ng admin. Ganun yung dati.
Pero hindi na tinuloy dahil dun sa... by the way, I'm curious din. Anong naging resulta ng kaso na yan?
It was dismissed. Nakakatuwa kasi nung time na yun, yung judge namin is from Pangasinan, and sabi nila, pag sinuot daw niya yung glasses niya, ano daw yun? Guilty. Pagpasok nung judge naka-glasses, ganunan kami lang. Parang, asar talaga. Pero, di ay na, babasahin na. Bla bla bla. Sinabi yung mga pagalan. Tapos, not guilty. Hiyawan lahat dun sa, ganyan. Well, nung way back, Attorney Manantan, siya yung nagkaso sa amin. Ano lang talaga, inis lang talaga niya dun sa president namin dati. Mariano, Marimar. Kaya niya ginawa. Hindi niya in-expect na magbo-blow up ng ganun yung...
Ganun. Parang tinuloy na lang din kasi
Ganun.
It's a good experience for you guys. Yeah.
Masyadong makulay actually ang high school ko hanggang ngayon.
Kasi I'm just trying to parang view myself in my college days na ganun din ang nangyari. I wouldn't know. Baka hindi ko kinaya. And you guys are different back then.
Iba kasi nun parang wala kasing social media noon. Isa yun Ang kagandahan ng walang social media, you're not looking at your back. Parang everything you do, parang gagawin mo dahil wala kang pakialam, gagawin mo talaga. Ngayon gagawin mo dahil may camera. May cellphone na nakatutok sa'yo. Pero way back, pag sinabi mong hindi tama dapat hindi putulin yung kahoy na yun. Let's go. Let's hug the tree. Barikada tayo, Jay. Kayo, tapnohan nga i-chainsaw. Talagang gagawin namin yun. We will go and then we will go around, hug the tree para hindi. And then here comes we're hoping that media will come, ganun. And then, sige, magkakaroon na ng sabi, sige, hindi na namin puputulin, blah, 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 ganun. Ganun dati. Ngayon, gusto mong i-save yung isang kahoy, ang gagawin mo, Facebook. I will save the tree.
Crying emoji.
Hug, hug. Share. Click share. Oh my. Layo.
That's the maximum effort that people can do now.
Layo.
Compared to how you did it back then.
Layo talaga. Kaya ngayon 2024 and way back nagpapatree planting ako and everything. Kasi yung mga experiences namin dati kakaiba. We were the ones doing it. And then, ang kagandahan, we can implement it right now na hindi na yung kailangan na nakatutok lahat.
But looking at your stories, parang may nahihinta akong linya na kayo yung parang number 1 na atribida sa buhay ng mga administrator back in college. Parang may 80% mo.
Yeah. Sabi na lang nating 70 to 80% talagang inis na inis ang admin nun sa amin. Because we can command the students right after nung issue. Like this. Yung student office namin, student government office, may window siya. And then dinadaanan ng mga students dun sa ano yung parang parking lot sa taas ni SU. So, it was a very good silent protest. Grabe. Monday, kumbaga the following week, ilalagay namin yung t-shirt lang. I-submit me lang agent window.
Okay.
Nakahanger lang siya. Nakahanger lang. The following Monday, grabe, almost all students were wearing black. Bad trip na bad trip ang admin sa amin nun. Pero wala kaming ginagawa. We're just the students were just showing support in a way na hindi nila kailangan makirally or no. But sabi nila support kami sa mga student leaders namin. And then Monday afternoon, maglalagay kami ng white shirt. Kumbaga, ano yung next t-shirt natin for the following day?
Yeah.
It went on for almost 3 weeks before nag-die down. Kumbaga, before hindi na sinusunod. But the thing is, nagawa namin yung silent protest na yun.
You were protesting about what?
Well, the usual tuition fee increase,
Yeah.
miscellaneous increase, yung mga ganun.
Especially so that your university was one of the most expensive
Pero
universities.
nung time kasi na yun, wala talaga kami magawa kasi batas pala yan. Diba? Batas talaga yung
Exactly.
all we had to do way back was appeal to the hearts of the administration. Baka pwede mong babaan.
And in
ganun.
fairness to the university, they were letting you do this without parang
Freedom of information
Yeah,
was
yes.
good way back nung time yan. Laban lang talaga namin yung mga security guard kasi talagang sila yung susuda mo matad-tad nga. Bakit nyo pinapayagan yung mga estudyante na nagsusuot ng black?
Kaya tatad rin din kayo.
Ano ang saya nung time na yun? But you know, in 1998, I really had to think nga kasi lang kailangan nga naumak.
Yeah.
And I really had to finish kasi syempre yung parents ko, ni mama ko magpapaskwil ako kanya katikulan na nga.
You had it in yourself to say na it's time to graduate.
Oh. So, hindi ko yun magagawa sa SLU. Kasi parang masyado ng kumbaga hindi ka makagalaw doon na ang tingin sa'yo ay estudyante dahil ang tingin sa'yo ay student leader, sumbungan.
Parang ikaw ang tool for them back then.
Hindi naman, isa lang kasi madami pa rin mga manong-manong noon eh. So I really had to decide na panak na lang JBCF, Jayak nga, pursue, Pol Sci, ka na-graduate. When I went to BCF nung time na yon, all my grades were above 1.5. Shout out kay Dr. Lumsit. Sir Lumsit, yan. Actually, si Doc Lumsit ang naging parang tinitignan ko ni instructor doon. Siya talaga yung nagturo sa akin ng political science, ng great political theories. May isang subject ako sa kanya na 1.0.
Wow!
Oo.
Wow.
Because I was really interested in reading yung mga political theories way back ng time ni Aristotle, ni Plato. So yun.
Till now.
Till now, yung sa Marx and everything hanggang ngayon. So, basically, madali na lang sa akin mag-analyze sa politics because meron akong background talaga.
Yeah.
Both actual and theoretical.
I just wanna squeeze this in para hindi ko makalimutan. And so you studied it, you have read the theories, you have observed how the politics of our country goes. And then, ano yung parang iisang hindi nawala from the history until now in the side of politics?
Ano talaga? Politics is a game of emotions.
Game of emotions.
Oh, game of emotions. Kung nakuha mo yung emotion ng tao,
Right.
chances are, aayon sila sa'yo. So way back, historically, noon pa lang, noong time pa lang ng mga ancient Greeks and every nation, great nations nung time na yun, kailangan makuha nila yung emotions ng tao para sumunod yung tao sa kanila. So it's actually a form of storytelling kung paano yung leader na ito doon sa mga constituents niya. So, yung method na ganun, hanggang ngayon, ganun pa rin ang ginagawa. Mananalo ka sa isang area kung sa'yo ang emotions ng constituents doon. Pero kung if people will hate you, zero ka doon.
Yeah.
Ganun.
And we saw that one yung parang glaring or parang example that one is just the election na nangyari sa United States. Yeah. Na you can see yung parang parang nagsawa na yung tao sa other party and their positive emotion all went to the other party.
Yun. Kaya actually, ang laro ngayon is pag makuha mo yung emotions ng masa, panalo ka. Kahit na gaano ka katalino, kung pinakamatalino sa lahat, kung hindi mo kayang kunin yung emotions ng tao, you will not succeed.
Is that maybe the reason why yung parang nakikita nating supposed to be the leader or best leader that can take our country or our town to a better place, hindi na nanalo because they are good, so to speak, in intelligence, but they're not so good in getting the emotion.
Precisely. At the end of the day, it's all about marketing. Sinasabi nila, ang politics daw is, it's a way to help people. It's a way for you to help people, to show how you kung ano mo ka-contribute mo sa honest to goodness. History will say that politics is business. It's just coined na politics, pero it's just another form of business.
If you dig deeper, try to look at it.
Ano talaga, kakaiba kasi pag may mga issues and all, yung, for example, yung nangyari sa Philippine politics ngayon, pagkikinalab.
Yeah.
Pag may issue ngayon, maghahanap sila ng isang matinding issue na i-try na i-cover up dun sa and then cover up. Kaya nga kumikita tong mga nag-i-spin.
Yep.
Yung mga spinners ng issues and news. And they're actually organizations and legitimate businesses who do these spins.
And vloggers are making money.
Mas madaling bayaran ang mga vloggers saka mga ganun talaga. Part of it.
When you graduated back in 98.
2000 na ako graduate.
2000. Yeah, when you graduated back then, did you have plan to like take, because usually ang transition yan is AB, Polo Sci, Law. Did you ever have the plan?
Actually, graduate ako ng St. Louis University College of Law. Yeah,
I see.
2005.
And for sure you passed the board also.
No. May backstory yan. Anyway, when I was at St. Louis University College of Law, I was again the editor-in-chief of Discipulo Legis Universitati Sancti Aloysi, which is the school, college paper ng College of Law.
Is it more editorial again?
Yeah, mga ganun.
More on
But nung time na yon, na ako, refined.
refined.
Kasi
Yeah,
pagka-graduate ko ng
course,
Poli-Sci,
yeah.
medyo refined na.
With age comes wisdom, right?
Yeah. So, first year ako yung EIC and then second year, ayoko na. Sabi ko, schooling na lang. Then, nung time na nag-start na akong mag-mini business, yung mga ganun. Third year, fourth year until I graduated. When I graduated in 2006.
Yeah.
Pero ang batch ko dapat is 2005. 2005 sana ako. Kaya madami tayong friends actually na lawyers, prosecutors, and judges because
You were
part of that school. And of course, yung mga ibang nasa ibang universities.
You perhaps have undergone some classes with the attorney Dizan? Yung sumisikat ngayon na writer, blogger?
No. Ang main na instructors ko nun dati, si Prosecutor Sagsago,
Oh, yeah.
mga retired na yung mga matatanda. Sila, si Dean Just Morales, who is right now the political law reviewer nitong year na to, bar exam na ito. Mga ganun. Ang dami kong prominent na mga instructors nung time na yun.
Did you take the bar after this? Why?
Pagka-graduate, I was in Manila. Actually, mag-review na sana ako kasi may nag-sponsor naman ng aking review noon. Pero, may mga friend din kasi ako noon na who were starting a corporation called NutriCare nung time na yon.
NutriCare.
Oo.
Parang narinig ko na yan.
Pero yung NutriCare ngayon, iba. Iba yung
okay.
NutriCare
Sige,
noon.
Okay.
Tapos sabi nila, Din, we need your expertise sa pagbenta online. You come with us, VP Marketing for and then ito yung usapan natin. So, sabi ko, sige, next year na ako mag-take ng bar. Following year, nagpapaalam ako, sabi nila, sayang yung nasimulan, 1 year pa. The following year,
1 year left.
1 year pa. Sabi ko, anak ng pating.
Madali ka palang pakiusapan
Hindi kasi, nung time kasi na yun, medyo maganda yung nangyayari.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm learning a lot from people in the business field. In fact, para akong sponge dati na I was absorbing all ideas,
A lot of ideas.
everything na kaya sa mundo na yun. And
Did that,
then,
maybe that absorbing new knowledge came from your training as a law student? Or, kasi I heard that if you're a lawyer, you have to know how to learn fast. Yeah.
pwede siguro. Tingin ko lahat na yun, sakop hanggang high school, college.
It's just your personality na
Oo.
siguro.
Nung nandun ako, parang doon pumasok yung thought na, okay, being a lawyer is very prestigious. Parang
right.
lahat ng pupuntahan mo, people are bowing down, kissing your feet, kissing your ass, yung parang ganun.
Yeah.
Pero at the end of the day, pera pa rin yung hinahanap.
Yeah, exactly.
Kung kaya mong kumita ng ganito sa business, na hindi mo na kailangan maging superstar sa pagiging abogado, dito ka na lang.
Yeah.
So, nung time na yun, iba yung mindset, if we call it that.
Yeah.
Iba yung mindset kasi ng parang pagiging lawyer. Iba yung mindset sa area ni business. So, nung na-involve ako sa business, lumaki yung perspective ko na, yung kumbaga yung thinking ko na analysis na, parehas matlang matgayam.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, what if i-try kong pag-aralan ito? And then, yun na. Parang, sige, sabi ko, since noong 1999, I wanted to review and take the bar. Pumunta ako ng Baguio. Pumunta ako sa school. And then, sinabi nila, laka din, ang daming nagpalit na jurisprudence nung time ni Gloria
maybe you
Mar.
mean 2009.
Yeah.
2009.
Sorry, 2009. Ang daming nagpalit na jurisprudence nung time ni Arroyo.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, So, wala kang choice kung hindi pag-aralan yung mga pinalitan niyang jurisprudence,
Yeah,
yung mga batas na
for those people who doesn't know, jurisprudence is
batas. Batas galing sa, kumbaga, pag may sinabi sa Supreme Court na ganito ang aming desisyon sa kaso na ito, that one becomes a law of the land. That's jurisprudence. Sabi ko, anak ng patin. Sabi nila din, nagsublikat 1 year yung 4th year. Tapno sigurado.
Babalik ka pa ba?
So, nung sabi ko, so when we came back here after Typhoon Ondoy, Ondoy, Metro Manila gamin ka, stone ko na. Came back here, late 2009. Nung 2010, we started our own business, and that's Accents in Qatar.
You stayed in Manila for 8 years?
No. 2006 to 2009. Parang, sabi mo na 4 years.
4 years, I see. And then, because of Ondoy,
bumalik
ka. And then, so you started that one. Wala ka nang, anyway, it's the same naman, ano? You can still use your knowledge, the things that you learned from being a lawyer in your business. And kung talaga namang yung plano mo lang is to use the profession, then that's the time you take the exam. Pero,
ang sabi ko, by the time I reach 60. Pag wala na akong gagawin sa buhay,
pwede rin.
Sige, babalik akong mag-4th year ulit, and then...
Pero you have to go back lang pa yun, maybe 4 years na.
No, 1 year pala.
1 year pa rin? Oh, really? That's
yeah.
low.
1 year lang. Babalik ako ng 4th year. Pag-aralan, whatever changed. Then, let's see. Ano na lang yan in the future. Kasi, if there's one thing that I like and I love, is that being in the position na meron ako ngayon as a photographer, ang dami kong naging kliyente na kabatch ko.
Yeah.
Mga lawyers na ngayon, prosecutors ngayon, mga judges na ngayon. Naging clients ko sila.
Mhm.
Kaya nga sinasabi ko, kayo kita nyo, buti na lang hindi ako nag-take ng bar.
Mm.
Paano pag na-disgrasya, naging abogado rin ako, di wala na kayong photographer.
Photographer.
Wala nang taga-document sa inyo, wala na kayong tinatawag na din, atin-atin lang ito
Oh,
Di wala nang ganun.
kuya din.
Pasalamat kayo.
Yeah, next time magpapatulong din ako sa'yo. Anyway,
Yun.
how did photography get into your life?
Yun yung kagandahan nun kasi when I was at the student council,
Mm.
I was the photographer.
Oh, the same thing.
Oo, so,
Right.
Nung time na yun, when I was in college, yun yung shifting from film to digital camera. Yun yung papapalit na.
Yeah.
So, pag meron kang yung digital camera nung time na yun, yung parang square na mga oldies na ganun, aba, modern ka,
Modern ka.
social ka,
Techie ka.
futuristic ka, ganun. Ngayon,
Yung kuha ba ng digital back then, yung parang ganyan is it at par with the film? Or di masyado?
more on mas convenient.
Mas on the convenience.
Kasi yung convenience nun kasi parang hindi katulad sa film na 36 shots, 24 shots, di ba?
The same
Yung
type of
digital
process.
nun parang nagsisimula na padami ng padami. Ganun. So that was the time na natuto akong mag-photography when I was at the student council, at the student paper.
So you have undergone the training also ng pagpapadevelop or just taking picture lang?
More on sa photography.
Sa photography, yeah.
Doon nag-start actually yung skill ko sa photography hanggang more on storyteller ako pagdating sa photography. But right now kasi iba yung market ngayon. Talagang sobrang galingan sa pitik ang market ngayon. But way back kasi, as long as you can document something happening, pasok na yun.
Pasok na. Right now is ini-study talaga kung
Talaga.
paano
Dati pag may nagsusuntukan,
Mhm.
talagang nandun ka sa gilid. Pitik.
Yan.
Pitik. Ngayon, pag may nagsusuntukan, ops! Freeze! Saglit, huwag mo munang suntukin na. Okay, pose, taas ng konti kamay, taas ng konti kamay. Okay, 1, 2, and perfect!
Is that how you compare it, really? The photography now and then?
Iba nga.
Parang- Ay, ganun.
Dati kasi talagang you do it for documentation. You do it for the sake na may makuha kang maganda. And then, syempre, kung mas malawak yung time, you set it up. You set the mood, ganon. But right now kasi, everything is visual. Everything is dapat ganito. May dapat na ganito yung output. Dapat ganito, dapat ganon. So, the younger generations, they tend to over-process yung output. Ganun.
Do you agree with some of the notion ng mga photographers? I don't know, maybe photographers or maybe some of the digital or photo consumers na the expensive the gadget, the better the quality of the photo. Is that true?
Ika-qualify ko yan May katotohanan yun.
Mm.
May katotohanan yun na alat kasi ng mga magagandang gears ngayon.
Yeah.
Ang gaganda ng kuha. And yung quality from the basic na basic na kuha ngayon, meron ng 4K, may 8K. So, totoo nga naman. May katotohanan yun na pag mas mahal yung gamit mo, chances are at par yun dun sa dapat na output. But the thing is, kailangan ba? Kailangan ba ng ganong kamahal na gamit? And for what reason? And what purpose? Example, nag-invest ka ng Sony A7 IV plus a very good sharp lens, sabihin mo nang abot ng 200,000.
Wow.
That's just the camera and the lens.
Yeah.
Wala pa yung ibang mga pwedeng accessories niya. Now, ang shutter count, I'm teaching this sa photography at tinuturo ko actually. Ang shutter count, for example, ng camera na yun, i-fix lang natin is 100,000.
Okay.
So, after 100,000, it's either ipa-rewind mo yan or hindi ko alam kung ginagawa na. But 100,000, after that, baka medyo pumalya na yung camera. And you go to a wedding using your 200,000 na camera, and then, wag na lang wedding. Pumunta ka sa panagbanga.
Panagbanga.
So, accredited ka as
Yeah.
hobbyist.
Hobbyist.
Ayan, yabang mo, nasa gitna ka ng session. Although, ilang beses ko na kasing nagkaya yun kasi alam ko yung feeling nun. Sa gitna ka ng session, pipitik ka. Pagdating nung haba ng parada na yun, di, pitik ka. Tapos, patak. Ganyan. Siyempre, happy mo kasi tinitignan ka ng mga tao sa gitna ng kalsada. Wow, photographer,
Ganda
sikat.
ng lens pa, no?
Oo, parang, di ba? Ano yan eh? Yung feel-good effect ng brain. The thing is, pag uwi mo ng bahay, nakita mo, naka 5,000 shots ka.
Oh, yeah.
So, 5,000 shots out of 100,000.
100,000.
5,000 shots na.
Yeah.
Okay, at yung nangyari dyan. Lumuluma na kagad yung presyo ng camera. Next. 200,000 yung bili mo.
Yeah.
100,000 yung shutter count. So basically, bawat pitik mo is 2 piso.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah, right.
So just imagine, 5,000 shots ka times 2 pesos. 10,000 pesos ka agad yung pinitik mo dun sa araw lang na yun.
And then the usable shots will be like how
Hindi
many?
natin alam. Pero pag titignan natin, nagsayang ka ng pera, okay lang yan pag mayaman ka, pag kaya ni mama at saka ni papa na bumili pa ng camera, go ahead. Pitik ka lang ng pitik. Hobby. Di ba?
Yeah, hobbyist.
But if you're one of those practitioners na pinag-iipunan ng camera, ibang level yung gagawin mong hardship para makuha yung gusto mong camera. But ito yun ngayon. Gusto mong ibenta yung camera mo, unang tatanungin, ilan ang shutter count? The more shutter count, the lesser the value of the camera. So regardless kung gaano kamahal ang camera mo, pagdating sa bagay na yun, yung investment mo, nagdi-deteriorate ka agad.
Exactly.
Okay, vis-a-vis. Paano pag ang camera mo, for example, Canon D80 or D90 with a good lens? Sabihin na lang natin, ang value niyan, sabihin natin na 60,000 lens and camera.
Mahal pa rin
But kunyari lang, kumpara mo dun sa 200.
Sa 200,
ito.
yes.
Magkatabi kayo ngayon sa session. Itong 200,000, itong si 60,000. You're taking photos. Ano yung difference sa output? Yun yung tinatanong. Siguro probably, full HD yung isa, full HD yung isa. For example, yung kuha nitong isa, large format. Large format ka rin, so parehas na 5 MB or 6 MB, ganun. Pero, yung output, wala nang ganong difference. Pag pinasok niyo yan sa Photoshop or Lightroom, for example, wala nang ganong difference. Angle, angle. Documentation, documentation. But the thing is, a very expensive camera and a mid-level camera, pagdating sa output, dun sa time na yan, is almost the same.
Special.
But, the thing is, pagdating sa investment, mas malaki ang nabawas sa investment itong big camera na ito kesa sa mid-level ng camera na ito. So, I always qualify that kasi minsan, ang daming mga batang angiyabang, kaya lang bumili ng parents, feeling nila photographer na sila. Tapos, hindi nila tinitignan yung mga oldies na ganito lang yung camera nila, but they can almost produce the same as what this...
even better at times.
Yeah.
Even better at times.
I qualify that area. Kasi, since ang tagal ko na rin kasi sa business na ito, nakikita, kung nag-beat kanya ka makakita. Nuji photographer, good at his word, good as a marketer, or yabang lang. For example, people working in the press. Sila Manong Kulot, Dave Leproso. Kukuha lang yung mga photos na yan, ma-angle lang talaga sila 1, 2, or 3. Pero isa-submit nila. May pera sila. Submit nila, for example, kung saan sila affiliated na newspaper. Pag pinablish yan, may pera sila. Itong isang bata na ito, naka 1,000 shots na, dami niyang pinitik. Upload siya sa Facebook niya, kumita ba siya?
Baka monetize.
I don't think so. Kumbaga madaling sabihin yung ganun, but if we're in deep sa ganitong field, alam mo naman kung monetized or hindi, di ba?
And you can Okay, can you actually, at the first glance, can you see who is a good photographer and who's not? Basing on,
Sa ngayon, hindi na.
hindi na.
Hindi
Yeah.
na. Hindi na.
Oh.
Dati kasi pwede eh. Yung angas, mababasa mo eh. Pero ngayon kasi, hindi na.
Oh.
There are also young people who are good in the craft already,
Mm.
but they do not. Oo.
Yeah.
Hindi ko na maano ngayon. Nakakabasa lang ako pag nakakausap ko ng mga tao.
Yan.
Pag nakakausap ko na, and then, alam mo na kasi yung usual na sinasabi and everything. But, kung sa unang tingin, hindi ko na dati Oo.
Yeah. You said that you're born from Baguio.
Mm.
And then, what made you change? What made you come here in La Trinidad?
I was born in Baguio City. But actually, ang family house namin is dito talaga.
Oh, I see.
Oo, dito. Dito sa area ng Pico. I grew up here. In fact, I can safely say na nakita ko ang area na ito na walang laman. Pag nakatayo ko sa may Save More ngayon, nakikita mo ang bayabas. Yun yung kabataan ko.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah, I remember that too. Nandun kami sa Bayabas. Marami pang kalabaw dun sa banda dun.
Oo.
Yeah.
Yun yung kabataan ko dito sa younger years.
Yeah.
Ang dami kong pictures na naglalaro sa garden na naguhuli ng jojo.
Yeah. Oh, yan.
Agkas sa lipitak.
Dati, the best tinaga na ditang waig. Ano de?
Nakalimutan ko na sa may ng bayabas, yung shortcut.
Ladladok. Yan, the best ang pangalan.
Ladladok.
Yan.
Pero iba na yung area na yan.
I cannot remember. Hindi na ako nakabisita. Pero, because my mom is from here actually, in Bayabas.
Lower, upper?
Upper. We did, yan.
Iba na ngayon.
Iba na, yeah.
So sobrang developed. In fact, dun sa bahay namin ngayon, wala nang vacant spot.
Oh, really?
Lahat building.
Building na.
Samantalang nung hanggang safe ito hanggang third year, fourth year college ako, garden pa dito.
Garden pa.
Oo. So ako grabe. Iba na talaga. Tapos siguro mga 5th or 6th generation na nalako. Lako from the original owners na ilako dito.
So you really don't know who your neighbors are right now, yeah?
Aside from a few families siguro, but siguro 70% kat na ilako yun. So I do not know.
Yeah.
Sino tiyo that time.
Yeah, the byproduct of progress is the same. Yeah. So you grew up here, and what are those? Is a person living here in this town? What are the changes that you want this town to have? What change? If you have like 2 or 3 change that you want to change in this town, what are those?
More on implement. More on implement or help advocate. Yun. Kasi for example, sa mundo ng autism, mental health, ganyan.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids na under autism spectrum. And it's really stressful for us
As a parent.
at sobra talaga. Meron din akong page actually devoted for autism spectrum.
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Oo. The thing is, isa sa mga gusto kong gawin is magkaroon talaga ng tamang information dissemination o tamang education kung ano yung autism. Hanga bagbagtit. Nga ibagada nga, bagbagtit na data nga ubing. Umiinit yung ulo ko pag narinig yun kasi hindi sila educated.
How many times did you hear that actually, in reality? And how do you process it? How do you...
3 times lang naman, hindi ganun kadami. Lang talaga.
Buti hindi ka
Flare up. Hindi naman.
Dragon Ball Z.
I just tell them na, autistic na kita. Pasensyahan yung autistic na kita. Di ba meron tayong, for example, seniors month.
Yeah.
Meron tayong, yung mga ganun. So, I would like the municipality to have like an autism week.
Yeah.
Autism Awareness Week through a formal resolution to be approved by the mayor.
Right.
So, for example, i-ano natin na every summer, at nung makarward na gubing, we will have an autism week or autism month or a certain schedule dedicated for people under this spectrum. Tapno karon nga knowledge etong munisipyo na ay ganito pala yung autism. Hindi pala yung ganito. Kasi right now wala tayong ganun.
At the same time, parang people are not yet
Aware. Hindi talaga they're not informed kung anong autism. Naririnig lang nila but they really do not know what is autism. The challenges of it, the things that we should do.
as a parent, what are your challenges now? If you can
Ah.
if you can share your challenges of having an autistic child.
Okay. Sa area kasi every child is different. Every
Yeah.
autistic child shows different form.
Parang it depends on the spectrum kung
Oo.
nasaan sila.
On my end kasi dalawa. Yung bunso ko is level 1.
Oo.
Medyo okay pa siya.
Okay pa.
So, nag-school sa SPED ngayon,
Mm.
non-graded. Yung second ko, yun yung pinaka-problem namin because level 3.
Oh.
And
Still at SPED, right?
no, si Roga hindi talaga namin mapalabas ng bahay. Kasi ilang beses nang mapukaw.
Oh, I see.
Siya yung typical na bata na pag inirelease mo yung kamay niya, dire siya yung tatakbo. Walang pakialam kung mabangga ng sasakyan, walang sense of fear.
Oo.
Siya yung bata na pag hindi mo binantayan sa pool, tatalon dun sa may malalim, walang pakialam kung malunod. So, it's really a struggle, stressful kinyaming family ang amin kami. Ganun. And I was in denial for 4 years. Idi lang ag 4-year-old di second ko ni Roga nga pinanunod ko nga I will accept dating of fate nga naitod kinya and I will learn everything about autism. 9 jubing ko tatan. But coming from me, Dean Michael Kwanzo nga feeling ko kat nalaingak met nga tao. And then the mother of my kids are also cum laude. I mean, magaling talaga, matalino. And then, you were given a child na ganun. Ang laki ng question mo sa buhay, which I will not dwell on that kasi medyo yung iba hindi makarelate. Or ayaw i-relate minsan. Karkaroon nung mangag na siya nga agsao nga very frank about things kat sometimes masaktan da or handa kayat nga dang area. So, I'll not dwell into that. But the thing is, for me to make my children safe, kailangan nga i-educate ko ang amin nga tattao nga asidag kinyami nga kastudya anak ko anyo nga mabalin nga hindi siya pwedeng hindi pwedeng hindi nyo tignan, kailangan bantayan yan lagi, mga ganun and then kailangan malaman din talaga ng buong community. At least sa amin, alam na ng community na pag tumakbo yung bata, tapos pag nakita nilang walang humahabol, sila na mismo.
Yes.
Yun yung malaking tulong kung sabi ko, I have to advocate this. Kasi adulti matulungan na. Just imagine, meron yung time na lumabas yung anak ko, na nalipatan lang yung lock the gate. Around 6 o'clock.
In the evening.
In the evening.
Oh.
Tapos I was out. I was working. Tapos awan nakapansin di balay. Tinangkamat di ubing. Paapan parwar nakadanan di ubingan asidog ti ataw.
Nako. Busy road na yun.
Ang humabol is yung kapitbahay namin na may store. Humabol. Tapos tsaka na lang siyempre ada nag-inform di balay. Lumabas yung mga tao sa bahay. When they were going out to the street, hawak-hawak na nung kapitbahay namin yung bata. Na sabi ko, that's one benefit of not being silent.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's one benefit of telling people nga kastoy ti aramidan tayo. Tanggalin na natin yung stigma. That's so stupid. That stigma thing, that's so stupid nga panunod ti tattao, especially in our province nga. Di pirmingi nga managbabain. Ganun. Patayin nyo di anak yung gabot di tabayin nyo. Yun ako. Yun yung iniiwasan ko na part kasi I get emotional and I get very frank to the extent nga I get angry no apay nga kasta ti tatay and I don't want to dwell on that.
That's why I chose to bring in the podcast.
Ayun, so yun yung isa. Of course, one is sa MSMEs, since I'm involved sa mundo ng MSMEs, sabi nung mga kasama, dapat meron tayong talagang representative
Mm.
na who can talk about
Your struggle as
as
business owners.
a MSME.
Yeah.
Hindi yung, kumbaga, there are some people, politicians, kung nata na, talking about MSMEs, but they really do not know the struggles that we've been
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
They only know in theory.
Yeah, and they just talk about it when they need to talk about it. You know, when I say they need to talk about it.
Yeah, oo. So, yun actually, kaya yung itong mga kasamang MSME, sila yung nagsabi na, ipatpatama di pa lang 3 elections ago, sinasabi na din, ulan tayo talaga ti kadbadita unan, di talaga yahan nga agin-agin. Dalalayang damot ang amin. Alam, apayan mo talaga. Nadadamot na ako.
There are like prominent names there, like the bus owner. Yeah. But I don't know if parang yung the details of what you want to know, the details of the message that you want to relate to the council, nasa kanya. Maybe he has a different perspective.
Perspective yan.
Yes. So,
ang nakikita kasi karamihan ng mga politicians in general are entrepreneurs or mayayaman na. So, kumbaga, they're looking at the telenovela
and me as
style.
as a stupid person, view this. Parang ganun din ang tingin namin.
Pero ganun talaga ang tingin because of yung influence nga ng napapanood
Yeah.
na dapat ganito ang entrepreneur. But if we will take the triangle, totoo yun. Pag tinignan natin yung yaman, ang baseline ng mga entrepreneurs na karamihan, nandito talaga sa ang laki ng nila dyan, level nila dyan. Ito yung mga entrepreneurs na tinatawag, pero sila yung pang-survival. Hindi sila yung Gokong Wei, hindi sila yung Hans, hindi sila yung... Kumbaga, ang daming levels ng entrepreneurship. Karamihan, masa-based enterprises. So, for example, yung mga kasama natin dito sa La Trinidad and Baguio, considered kami lahat as entrepreneurs. Pero entrepreneurs in a way na surviving daily. Kami yung entrepreneurs na, for example, ang empleyado mo ako, ang boss mo ako, ako is ako. If you need something, awan ti may baon mo, kailangan magpalingki dita trading post, awan may baon mo, sikati ako nagpalingki. But we are considered as entrepreneurs.
You're the head of the different department and you are the man on the different department.
Yun ang hindi nakikita ng mga karamihan ng politiko. Ang tingin nila, pag entrepreneur, boss ka, meron kang 100 empleyado.
Yeah.
Kalokohan, sobrang malaking kalokohan yun. Yung ganung perception. That only applies to the higher A and B market, AB market. But CDE market, nako. Handa nga mo, kung di ko nadang din, you have to explain na pag pumupunta mga politiko, sila yung magpapakape kasi sila may sweldo. Hindi tayo magpapakape kasi ang hirap-hirap ng proseso ng pinagdaanan ng coffee natin.
Yeah, tama.
Hanggang yung processing, hanggang sa may packaging. Tapos, kikikil pa sila ng patikim ng kape.
Pakape. Akala ko ano yun. Pero yun daw one of the perks of being a politician.
Well, perks talaga yun.
Yeah. So those are the two main reason why you decided to file your COC.
Dami pa syempre. But sabi na lang natin, yun yung nakikita ko na kaya ko talagang gawin. Kasi I am living in that area. Kasi syempre, andyan yung sports, andyan yung pang senior citizen, andyan yung free na seminars for the youth. Madaming programs na pwede. Basically naman kung ano yung gusto mong gawin, tutulungan ka rin naman ng mga ibang mga counselors.
Yeah.
Granting na mapaggasatan.
Yeah. We'll see how the game was played.
Yeah.
And let's go back about how did it transition into, so what world was basically a blog back then. Yeah. And then how did it transition to becoming like a multimedia
Okay mo.
outfit?
Maganda yan. When we came back, parang nung 2010,
Mm.
I was the one taking photos ng mga products na binibenta namin online. So kung ano man yung product na ibebenta, kinukuhanan ko ng photo. And then eventually may nagsabi ng, can you come and take photos of the birthday? Why not?
Yeah.
And then may sinuportahan akong politiko. Sabi niya, i-document naman namin. Why not?
Mhm.
So eventually nakita ko na, pwede. So I started accepting gigs from events na corporate, birthday, binyag, libing,
Oh yeah.
wedding. Sa wedding talagang hindi pa gaano nun. Parang natatakot pa ako nun. Pero ganun, dire-diretso hanggang 2013, 2014. Then 2014, pinasok ko na yung wedding.
But
Ganun.
while you're doing this, because you said photography yung training niyo back in college. And then, so, are you having parang kumuha ka ng lesson o parang self-taught lang lahat yung mga process mo, yung mga workflow mo sa mga ginagawa mo?
Ganito siya. Ang nagturo sa akin ng photography is experience nung una. And sobrang lakas ng loob. Yung puhunan nun eh. But yun nga, we should continue learning.
Right.
Once, lagi kong sinasabi, once you stop learning, that's the end of your life, and that's the start of your destruction. Pag tumigil ka ng mag-aral, kasi walang magaling. Yun yung ano ko eh. I think 2016 or 17 when I started formally having, 2013 pala when I started sa UP.
Yeah.
Nag-aral ako ng film sa UP, and then 2016 editing, and then script writing, and then cinematography and directing. Lahat nag-aral na ako niyan sa Metro Manila. Formal ano na yan. And it was all documented and nasa Facebook. So yun. Kaya hindi na ako nahihirapan ngayon na kumuha ng film projects or projects na tinatrabaho kasi may solid background na ako and experience for that purpose.
Did you have like a parang feature movie na na-launch using What World?
None. Wala kay What World, but as a cinematographer madami, as a director. Yung latest ko na ginawa is as a director and sabihin na lang nating editor for yung patimpalak ni Department of Tourism for the best tourism village ng Cordillera. So, I directed the film and edited the film for Silan, Barangay Silan.
Meron bang mapapanood dyan sa YouTube siguro?
Sa Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah. And that entry won 500,000. Di ba? That 500,000 is for Barangay Silan. Hindi pa nila nare-receive, pina-follow up ko, sabi ko, na-receive nyo na ba? Hindi pa raw. But the thing is, nung yung ginawa namin na yun, is may value. Ayan. And I also did a few films for BPI Foundation, for DSWD, DTI, ganun. Yung film ay hindi siya yung wedding method na parang ang daming transitions. Yung talagang may script writing.
Kasi iba yung editing ng film, di ba? Ay, ng wedding.
Iba.
Merong mga hard transition yung So, you have like extensive training on cinematography and everything. Wala ka bang, do you have a plan to like make a movie na featuring Igorot cultures or stories about our land, what Igorot nation in the future?
Yeah, meron talaga. Meron. I would like to plan to do that. Pero alam mo kasi hindi madaling gumawa.
Yeah. We tried.
Oo.
Yeah.
Yung skill-wise, andyan yan. Walang problem yan. Something na until mamatay ako, nandyan na yan.
Nandiyan yan.
But, ang tinitignan ko kasi dyan is dalawa yung oras at saka yung production. Yung kung may bibigay ba akong sufficient time for that. And yung production, pag sinabi kasi natin production, malaki yan na yan eh. Una, yung producer, sino magpo-produce,
Yeah.
sinong director,
Yeah.
sinong cinematographer, yung crew, lighting, audio man,
Malaki, no?
tapos actors.
Yeah.
And then aside from mapping that out, titignan mo pa yung budget mo daily.
Yeah.
So, ang daming kino-consider sa area ni production. So, yung time, you should devote talaga solid na oras para yung pag-produce ng film would be like ilang araw lang.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the longer the days,
More money.
mas kaya yun yung tinitignan ko na.
At the same time, yung business side niya, no? How is the ROI? Parang kikita ba to? Or, especially in this day and age, na parang napakadali na lang. I'm just wondering kasi, na-amaze din ako, tinitingnan ko sometimes. There are people just posting things na unpolished. Unpolished, like movies, yung mga ganun, and then kumikita. And parang doon natatalo yung mga, yung parang pulido yung trabaho.
Mainstream.
Yeah. Yung mainstream. Parang marketing na yun. Medyo
Ang daming
mahirap.
qualifications sa area na yan. Una, hindi talaga kumikita ang local films ngayon. O kaurit na Dumagan to the Julius. Sila yung mga sikat ngayon na directors, ano.
Right.
But I worked with Julius also as his cinematographer. And I know the budget.
Yeah.
And I've worked with many directors also. And I know the budget. The thing is, I know them as good directors, but none of them are good marketers.
So yun ang missing factor sa mga local natin.
Aminin damot lang. Yun yung sinasabi ko na parang kahapon lang. Isa sa mga naano ko na naman sa mga training kahapon dun sa mga bata. You cannot sell yourself. Huwag nyo nang pasukin ng negosyo. If you cannot sell yourself, huwag na nyo pasukin ng event. Because the first thing you should do is to sell yourself. If you cannot sell yourself, if you cannot sell your name, mamamatay kang poor. Kahit gaano ka gagaling. Ganun, it all goes with all artists, painters, directors, crafts people. Kahit gaano ka kagaling, if you cannot sell your craft, your product yourself, matay ka nga pobre.
Tama, marketing yung kulang na aspect dun eh. Kasi marami tayong mga local film producers, Marami eh. Parang yung pinaka basic na nakikita ko dito yung ni Nasendong, yung Buguso, The Last Headhunter is actually a good film.
Maganda.
Pero oo nga ngayon ko lang yung pinoint out mo. Yung talagang marketing ang kulang.
Everyone can be creative.
Yeah.
Everyone can be, kasi nga visual ang mundo ngayon. Kaya everyone can be creative. Everyone has a mode o as a platform to publish. Yun di ba?
Right, tama.
So, pwedeng instantly, pwede akong maging director bukas. Gawa lang ako ng mini-film ko. Publish ko sa Facebook. Director na tawag nyo sa akin ngayon. Lahat kayo friends ko, director na ako. Pwedeng ganun.
May lalagay ka na rin sa portfolio.
Oo, pwedeng ganun. Ang lagi kong sinusunod na tanong doon is, doon sa ginawa ninyo, ilang araw kayong mabubuhay? O ilang araw kayong kakain? Or hanggang ilang araw kayong nabusog?
Tama.
So, sa akin, as a marketer, ang lagi kong tinitingnan muna is, if you do this, how will you market it? Are you sure you can market it? Or feeling mo lang susuportahan ka ng 1,000 friends mo sa Facebook? And then after that, ano yung ROI mo? Yung maglakad sa kalsada, tapos tawagin kang ganito, tawagin kang ganon. Until when?
Yeah.
Well, hindi ko naman kinu-question yung area na dihan kami, hindi yun eh. You can be an artist all your life. Pero if you're not really sustainable as an artist, how
Mm.
can you maintain your craft?
Mm.
Kasi ano ngayon nga, aramidum next pag hindi mo nasusustain siya.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's just, you have to market yourself first
Mm.
before the things that you will do.
Oh, going on that saying na you have to market yourself. How will you start it? Kung baguhan yung how will you start it? Ano yung hows and how to do the steps niya?
Medyo mahirap yan kasi mahabang lecture yan. Pero, totoo lang, hindi rin kasi yan tinuturo na upfront.
Yeah.
Hindi yan kayang ituro na upfront. But there are ways and means on how you can market na pwede mo namang gawin. Total, naggumagawa ka na ng film. Okay, ito
Mm.
Sa'yo ko lang sasabihin sa podcast
Yeah.
ni Sir.
Elmar's to speak.
But I will not, hindi ko to sinabi in open.
Okay.
Kasi I teach this one.
Mm.
Paid.
Yeah, that is a noble trait, you know.
Okay, ito yan. There are a lot of very good filmmakers, local. Pero hindi nila nakikita yung mga ibang pwede nilang pagbentahan yung craft nila.
Right.
Aminin natin walang pumupunta sa SM para manood ng film.
Yes.
Wala. Kahit nga sa Manila, wala pa rin manonood.
Mhm.
But the thing is, there was this film that we made in 2015.
Mm.
And ang ginawa nung producer, pagkatapos namin, the film was Babaylan. Babaylan. We filmed it in Metro Manila, in Iloilo. Medyo madami rin yung locations. And ang bida rito sila, Derek Monasterio. Mainstream ng mga to.
Mhm.
The thing is, nung sabi ko, saan natin ipapanood yan? Sa sinihan. No, kasi indie film ngayon
Yeah.
The budget was 3 million.
Mm.
Malaki pa rin, Indie film lang.
3 million.
May plan na pala yung producer namin. Who is a very good friend now.
Mm.
And then, tumulong pa actually ako dun sa paggawa, pagbenta.
Oh.
So, nagawa namin yung film. Nagkaroon kami ng screening sa SM ata.
Yeah.
Pumunta kami.
Mm.
So, after that, hindi na pinanood. Kasi sabi ng sinihan, walang manonood niyan. Pero nakaplano na pala. Everything was planned. The film was to be shown in educational institutions, sa schools.
So parang nakakontrata na or bibilhin ba nung bibilhin ng DepEd yung or
Hindi actually DepEd. Lahat ng school, DepEd, pero ang talagang tinarget namin are private schools. May mga local schools din, pero iba yung usapan. Ganito kasi yan. And I know you know this one.
Yeah.
Sa school, may kino-collect ang private institutions na miscellaneous fee.
Yeah, right.
Part ng miscellaneous fee are visual fees. So, kunyari, ang private school na to nangolekta ng 200 pesos na miscellaneous fee dun sa student.
Yeah.
Minsan, hindi nakikita kung saan ginagamit yung miscellaneous fee.
Yeah.
So, if there are 1,000 students in this school, kakausapin namin. Ang principal, this is our film. Hindi basta-basta yung artista, mainstream artista ng mga to. Kita naman, Nicky Valdez, Derek Monasterio, they are good names.
Marketing na yun.
Tapos, maganda yung pagkakagawa ng film. Ipapanood natin, bakit sabihin ng principal? Kasi ma'am, it's educational. They will see kung ano yung story ng mga babaylan. Tapos, so sinabi namin yung storyline, ganito sabihin ng principal. Pwede. So, ano yung usapan dyan? Ma'am, kami na pong bahala. Ipapanood natin doon sa gym ninyo. All you have to do is kunin nyo lahat ng students and then hindi naman sila magbabayad, ma'am, kasi kukunin natin sa miscellaneous fee nila. 70 per head. Ma'am, si students naman, di kahit 60 pesos per head. 60 pesos per head times 1,000 students. That's 60. So that's in one school. And then we marketed it in many schools in the Philippines, including CCDC, including BCF, including UB.
That's how you do it.
So, na-market mo yung buong Pilipinas. Ang laki ng ROI ni producer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, see?
Mm.
Those things, noong kung ngayon baga kanyang amumba,
Yeah.
o ngayon sabihin mo sa mga kaibigan natin na meron yun.
Mm.
That's something that they can explore. But
Yeah.
those things kasi, yung mga, marami pa actually. But those things, yung mga methods na ganun, is not open in public. Nga diskarte. Yung uray nung manuti film nga aramidan tayo dito eh.
Yeah.
Cordy, ang ganay jay tayo lang. Kasi yung mga ganong diskarte, hindi natin tinitingnan. Ang tinitingnan natin, kabel tayo jay YouTube.
CD.
Eh, di ba dati ko CD?
Mm.
Makala ko 31,000 nga CD. Mahabalinan.
Mm.
Or i-post tayo jay YouTube. Isupay no, ag YouTube partner tayo. Or something ganun nga.
Mm.
Fixated tayo ijay. Nga adumat gayam actuality forms of marketing.
Forms of marketing. Yeah. We did not, ayun ang kulang eh. They did not explore the other forms of marketing.
Because they do not know.
Ang ano is, I'm embarrassed to admit that we had one movie, and you can actually search it on YouTube.
Nya di.
Yeah, The Tour, a Groot movie.
Uy, buyak man.
It was produced by yung kasama niyo nagpo-photograph si Jomar Sakpa. I think you know him.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It was produced by him and then that was 2015 also. 2016. And then sinubukan i-ano sa through VCD, DVD. Hindi masyado kasi during that time 2017 pasikat na yung social media.
Tama.
And then ayun, with his permission ko na kanya na post ko na lang YouTube ko. Kanya na back in 2017 din yata. Sige lang. Ano. Pinost ko. Parang yun lang, parang na-offer lang na free na hindi na maximize. And then another marketing na ginawa is parang film showing at the same time concert nga. Na
Yun yung common natin.
Yun yung common na parang hindi na rin na.
Yung may sagayam Jane Bagak tatay is hindi namin nirelease sa public. The producer was very careful not to give a copy to me.
Parang yun ano. Yeah.
Parang we have to maximize first the marketing nationwide. After 5 years, tsaka lang natin i-release in public. Kasi yun yung very crucial nga. Once gamin nga rin more payment, sino nang manonood? Kung available na sa
free market.
Kaya, the thing is, if we create a movie, that movie, kung ganun ang lakaran na gusto natin, it should be something na educational para pasok sa schools. Second, yung talagang very strict tayo na walang ibang copy kung hindi sa producer lang. So that we can market it, even if the principal will say na, pwede bang humingi ng copy?
Yeah.
Ma'am, ito po yung synopsis. And then, ito po yung, kunyari, 2 to 3 minutes na trailer. Ayan. You do not give a whole copy. Kasi if you do that, chances are, mawawalan ka ng...
So, it's basically, while you are brainstorming kung ano yung gagawin yung movie, while you are writing the script, you're also thinking of how you are going to market it, and how you are going to market it will affect the story.
Precisely. Kung nusak baliktad actually, before ka magkaroon ng product, minamarket mo na. Sorry pero ganun dapat.
Yeah.
For real marketers, you should already create the market for your upcoming product. For like regular people, you create the product and find a market for it. Baliktad eh. Dapat amumpay di pag i-market. For example, yung producer ko na yun. Market niya at schools. Before niya ginawa yung ano. Alam na niya kung saan niya ibebenta, na map up na niya yung gagawin niya before ano. Just imagine kung baliktad. Ginawa muna namin yung film. Tsaka niya tinignan kung saan niya i-market. Sakit ng ulo.
Walang kasiguruhan.
Ganun yan. These things you learn only from experience.
And we are glad because you're sharing it to us.
Oo naman.
And like I said,
only in this podcast. Nagoyo ako nito sa sarap ng kwentuhan eh.
I have this person na nakakwentuhan ko through this podcast just the same.
Mm.
And he said, so he tried to, shout out to Apo Kapitan Wasing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Manong Peter.
He tried to run for the council also.
Last year.
Yeah. Like,
Na last election.
Yeah. Nanay na matagal eh. Hindi ko Yeah, yata. Hindi ko
Last election, tsaka 2 elections before.
Mm.
Mm.
And then, sabi niya, nakuha ko na yung sanity ko eh. Kaya medyo naku-acting eh. Akala ko literal na nag-mental breakdown siya. Nakuha ko na yung sanity ko eh. Kung mawawala ulit yung sanity ko, baka tatakbo ako. Sabi niya gano'n. Eh, yung parang view niya is that politics is dirty. Do you agree? Yeah. And then he said that politics will change you. Kahit na matino kang tao, pag pumasok ka dyan, it will totally
Probably.
corrupt you. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, you've been learning politics since you were in college.
Mm.
You embroiled with it.
Mm.
Now, are you not scared that politics will change you also as a person?
Hindi mo mawala yan. Yung what if.
Yeah.
What if. Sabihin na lang nating it may or may change me as a person.
Mm.
We do not know. And I will not put a period on that kasi hindi na natin masabi. Baka kung makalusot tayo, baka after 3 years kontrabida ako sa buhay ng mga tao. We will never know. Again, I cannot say that hanggat nandun ako until I will experience talaga. Kasi it's premature for me to say na baka ganito yung gawin ko or hindi kung wala pa ako doon. So, siguro after 3 years, let's talk again.
But the fear of
Yung fear na?
losing yung identity mo na. Do you have that?
No, none. In fact, I think my identity will be bloated more because of politics. Mas makikilala tayo. Ang kagandahan nun, ito lagi kong sinasabi sa mga kasama ko.
Yeah.
Ngayon, yung mga current group of friends ko. We go for a win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win. We win a seat and we win promotions of What World. Which is why we're doing it right now. Grabe tingalaw mo, mitata, napansin mo, biglang nag-boost.
Yeah.
Now, we go for a win-win. Nung maaba ka, okay, nung ka makapasok, we have another win, which is nag-win si What World.
Yeah.
There's always a win. Hindi tayo papayag na walang win. That's why in our current setup right now, aside from introducing myself using the means that we know, itong online media, SOCMED, ito yung strength natin, so we concentrate on this.
Yeah.
We also have projects under What World, which is, example, yung 1,000 Smile Project. Lately, we've been going around almost all events na, offering our services for free.
For free?
Top no, may boost ni What World. So, pag tinitingnan namin yung insights ngayon ng page natin from 17,000, nasa parang in a span of a month, parang nanayunan tayo around close to 600 followers. So, tingorti ko na i-boost tayo ni Dean Quanzo at the same time i-boost tayo ni What World. We should always have a win.
Yeah.
Antayo nga pumayag na lose-lose. Awan na, pangit ang tingnan sa lalaki yun, di ba? Lose-lose. But the thing is, we should always have a win.
Yeah.
We go for a win-win or we go for a win-lose. We don't know problem with that. Basta importante, merong
one of them will win.
Yeah. Pag lose-lose, hindi na ako papayag nun. Parang hindi naman ako marketer nun kung sakali. That's why we're boosting up our campaign for both side, What World and Dean Quanzo.
You revived, or I don't know if revive is the right term, or started the talk show. It's a podcast, just the same, pero ang platform is, that's why I'm urging you to do it on Spotify also. You can do it on Spotify. At least we can see each other there, parang nag-boost ba?
Sige. I will consider.
Yeah. What was the main objective for that one also? What World Talk Show?
I started it pala in 2018. Yung office pa nun sa taas. Diyan sa taas yung office nun. It was bigger back then. And then, during our idle time, gusto kong may ginagawa. So, we started having the talk shows.
Yeah.
Isa sa mga earlier guest ko nun, si Manong Peter Wasing.
Oh, I see.
Sila nila Jack Fernando, Peter Wasing, and a few more entrepreneurs dito sa atin. But the thing is, after nung 10th episode, I think biglang nag-boost yung wedding.
Maraming nagpakasal.
Kumbaga, agsasaro nung Tiprino,
Yeah.
hindi ko na
I see.
parang,
Yung consistency, ano?
no, hindi ko na talaga kasi yung demand ng time, yun yung sinasabi ko, oras.
Right.
And then, sayang kasi nasimulan na, nagkakaroon na ng traction. And then, yun na. Instead nga, agpa-podcast ak idikat niya, ay bandak mo nga, resource speaker, seminar, lecture. So, naubos na yung time na yun. Kasi ang dinidevote ko lang talaga is morning.
Morning. So, what was the format of your podcast? Is it like this na free-flowing conversation? Walang
Ganun din.
talaga?
Pero more on, kumbaga, more on kung ano yung topic natin ngayon. So, topic natin ngayon is technology.
Yeah.
Ang guest ko would be from the IT sector. Ganun.
Yeah.
Ganun dati. And then, ngayon nire-revive ko na naman siya kasi sabi ko nga kanina, we should go for a win.
Go for a win-win. Right.
Hindi pwedeng kahit nga sayangan Jay, bandog ko nga. Yun na, as a marketer kasi, time is the number one commodity na hindi natin kayang i-buyback.
Yep.
Once nga linmabas Jay, oras Jay, time nga di ay, uray no panunot ka, dapat kasi you can never buy it back.
Yes.
Yun yung ako as a marketer. That's why if I want to market myself for this election, kailangan meron akong win.
Yeah.
Kaya sabi ko, isublik man amin dito ararami dati. Total, the morning ko naman is free. I will continue with What World
And
Daily.
you came back with full force.
Yeah.
Because every day, Monday to Friday.
Alam mo, nakakatawa
Cannot do that.
ito. Ang daming nagme-message na kaano kamimot.
Right.
And sabi ko, kayong danag kakadwa, next year kayo ito.
Yeah, especially so you said you got a lot, and I think people would love to hear the stories of yung mga kasama mong yung
Kakaiba rin.
yeah, those stories. I think people would love to hear that one. That's why I'm doing this also, because each one of the people here in the Cordillera, especially yung mga I love to listen to the story of the owner ng Legacy came for. Yeah. I think nakasalang na rin. Because each one of us have stories to share, and from that story we might be able to inspire other people. Yun lang naman ang noble ko dito.
Oo naman.
Yeah, yun ang parang main objective of why I'm doing this one.
Yung information kasi sometimes sabi lang, parang feeling natin info lang yan, pero hindi. No, dati na-touch tayo, nasukatan tayo, tibiyag na, 1 or 2 or 3 nga tao. That's actually something.
Worth a billion views.
Totoo yan. Ganun din naman ako. Ano lang siguro itong podcast na ito is as long as meron na naman akong oras kasi niisip ko next year, hindi ko alam kung kaya yung everyday, baka gawin kong What World Daily, pero baka twice a week.
twice a week. Yeah,
Hindi na siya daily,
What Week Daily coming to you twice a week.
You'll never. Tingnan natin, but nag-enjoy naman ako sa ngayon. And kagandahan niya itong this first week ng natin, podcast natin. Natuwa ako kasi hindi bumababa ng 1,500 yung views ng per pod, ng per video. Sabi ko, I have that network pala. And I'm very thankful na Dagayam din.
You still have it.
Yeah, thankful. So, I'm just capitalizing on that muna sa ngayon. Next year na ako talagang ngangalaw-ngaw na
The problem with having yung no script, no parang it's a conversational talaga. In the Philippines, we have a lot of laws that we need to know before we do this. yung isang episode ko which will be coming before you, yung episode na to. I pride myself of having a podcast not edited. But this time, I have to edit it because pinakita ko sa barkada mo ito, pare, libelous. May ganun. So, yun lang yung ano dito. Parang,
Oo.
that's why I'm afraid to do it on live
Mm.
because yung mga ganun na style, baka...
You control the narrative naman. Eh.
Mm.
So,
In your case, you're a lawyer. You studied it. So,
Mm.
parang meron kang...
kailangan talaga na everything that I say ko
Mm.
on a third person approach. Everything,
Was that how you do it?
I control the narrative. I should control the narrative. Every discussion that we say, sakto gibo to the question, ngati dapat ngati answer na katanga mo ibaga jinagan.
Yeah.
Yung kumbaga third party approach lang talaga.
Mm. You're vying to be, or you're trying to be one of the leaders of this town. Sino yung mga parang nilook up natin na tao in terms of leadership? Maybe taga rito or taga other countries?
Okay. Well, naawanan dagay ko. Awan dagay datin nga kitkitak nga nalalay nga senador.
Wala ko naman ni Robin Padilla ko na.
Pwede naman tayo maging Robin Padilla eh.
Pwede naman.
Hanggang ko. Well, each politician, matkidi, meron silang sari-sariling strength and weaknesses. But I tend to go with the side na dapat yung uupo na leaders natin should at least have a little bit of background intellectually kung ano yung trabaho ng pinapasok nila.
Right.
Like, pag pumapasok kang counselor, alam mo na ang trabaho mo is legislative.
Yes.
Hindi kayong magpa-promise na ganito ang gagawin ko, ganun ang gagawin ko. Trabaho pala ng executive.
Tama.
So, basic yun. Sobrang basic yun.
Tama.
So, yun lang talagang minsan iniisip ko na sayang, ada ko mati nalalaing pa nga nagtugaw ng dayto eh. Di function na ka, tanang may
mo.
Nag-rely na lang ti advices to lawyers, ganun. So, same goes with the executive department. Ganun din dapat. Parang alam nila yung hirap ng papasukin nila. Ganun.
Pero meron ka bang mapapangalanan na parang leaders that you admire in terms of leadership?
Ang hirap naman yan. Ayoko magbagsak ng name eh. Okay, I'll have to go bias on this.
Okay.
The old man nilakay Pongwan.
Oh, yeah.
The old man.
Yeah.
He's community-oriented.
Same with me. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
He knows the laws of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
He knows our tradition. And he knows how to balance it with yung ibang cultures and ibang traditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that's why masaysayangan ak garuda. We've seen his work as in the executive office. Yan. Parang yun lang, sayang talaga kasi hindi natin nakita yung parang full work sana niya in the legislative.
Oo nga, sayang din. But yeah, the old man. Bias ako dyan nga area because I know the old man since I was a kid. Amok isuna, hindi pa time nga nababati position na before nga nagmayor pa di Trinidad. Because he was a friend of my dad.
Oh, I see.
Oo. And if you are one of the old people here, natandaan nam dita parking area, the Camp 5. Saan ba yun? O, tama dyan. Dyan. Oo. Di yung parking area niyan, during the 90s, kapian na ito. Pagkapian na ito.
When?
And tambay ni dad and ni late Governor Pongwan. Doon sila nagkakape. And then, I still remember nung time na Pongwan Senior was appealing to my dad na tumakbo rin sa La Trinidad. Pero nung time kasi na yun, my dad was already involved sa business ng restaurant.
Yeah.
Kaya sabi niya, haanan. Kung lugar data, blah, blah, blah. Yan. Pero had he run nung time na yun, feeling ko tandem sila hanggang ano.
Doon sila hanggang
Oo. Ano lang siguro ay, syempre, hindi natin masasabi na perfect ang lahat ng politiko. Lahat naman ng politiko may ano rin yan, may sinasabing, or meron ding nagawang kakaiba. Yan, but, pag titignan kasi natin si late Congressman Governor Fongman, iba yung attitude niya. Napaka people-oriented.
Yeah.
Yung ano niya sa community, ang lakas. Kakaiba.
Malakas yung charisma sa ano.
Yun yung gusto ko rin na sana ma-sustain ko yung area na yun. Na every time na kung saan siya pumunta, welcome na welcome. Yung ganun sana. And then, na-witness ko pa yan si Gob na nung dyan sa may hospital dati. Hindi ko alam kung bakit siya nandun kung nagpa-check up siya. Pero wala siyang kasamang bodyguard or whatever. Mag-isa lang talaga niya. Nandun lang siya na nakaupo dun sa may bench sa harap na kumakain. Nagsimple ang mga gobernur. So anyway, mga ganong I hope na makuha ko yung yung charisma sa tao.
Yeah. One of the parang best asset in your politician. Anyway, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I promise that we're gonna be doing 1:30 to 3 o'clock now.
Yung oras
3:37. So, thank you so much for having me here in your office, and
Thank you too.
I hope we'll be having another round of conversation.
Oo naman, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Michael Dim Kwanso, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.